Hi everyone, this side I've created to create. Welcome back to my channel. If you're not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Today I have a project share, you guys. I did something that I said I would never do, and that is create with Maggie Holmes paper. I am not a Maggie Holmes fan. There's something about that type of paper that I really don't like, but I do like a challenge. So I decided to go ahead and try and create with it to see if by creating with it, if that changed my mind. I'm not sure if it has or if it hasn't, but I have been having fun creating with it. First of all, I went to the Dollar Tree and I picked up some things that I thought were Maggie Holmes related because she has a lot of woodland animals in her uh, collections, and they all kind of have similar things in there. So I went and picked up at the Dollar Tree. They had these trays, these bunny trays, and this it's pretty big. It's pretty large when you set it up, and they were only $5, and they had, I think they had two green and one blue left. And these are what they consider Easter. Well, I don't consider it Easter, but I consider it spring. And they were only $5, and I thought that would be a great way to display my Maggie Holmes embellishments that I created, that I was going to create. So I picked that up, and I did buy some. They had this artificial grass, so I did buy a roll of that. That was $5. And here's my stand. I had hubby, let me move all this out of the way. I had hubby go ahead and paint it for me in pink. So it's pretty big. It's nice. Um, and then I cut the circles out of the faux grass to just line the inside of here. Now I could have used Maggie Holmes paper to line the inside, but I kind of wanted to make it look springy and woodland. And then they had this I guess this is like a paper organizer, and it's real flimsy, you know, one of those cheapy ones. But because I was making embellishments, I was making packages, I wanted to make sure I had something that I could line them up and they would look pretty in here. So I picked that up just to add to the inside of it so I could start layering up. Sorting out embellishments and just displaying them nicely. Another thing that I picked up from the Dollar Tree was these bunnies, and I didn't realize it when I first bought them. I kind of just bought them and thought, well, I'll remove the Happy Easter and all that stuff and make them look more like Maggie Holmes. And I didn't realize he had a little net, and Maggie Holmes has a lot of butterflies in her collection. And he didn't have a nose, so I added a pink pom-pom to his nose, and then I put a butterfly on the nose, like as if here he's catching a butterflies, and one landed on his nose, and I think it's super cute. It already had the blue flower, and Maggie Holmes paper has blue. So I just kind of, I don't know if I can tilt this without spilling everything. So I just kind of just set him right on top right there, and you can see right here is the organizer that I want to be able to put the embellishments in. And they also had some, let me see. They had this wood tray that has wood veneers in it. And it reminded me of Maggie Holmes as well, because it has the bicycles, it's got the glasses, it's got the cameras, the star, the music notes, the houses. The only two or three things that really don't remind me of Maggie Holmes is the anchor, the word bubble, but that could be used for Maggie Holmes, and then the little car. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with these, if I'm gonna use them to add to my embellishments, or if I'm just gonna spray paint them in a color and include them in this Maggie Holmes kit that I'm making. This will be available in the shop when I'm done with it, but I'm just not done with it yet, and I want to create at least two, if not three. So I picked this up, and someone had gifted me this swan Rosette, and I just kind of put it there because I don't have really a swan like that, and I thought it was pretty. So I put that there. And I used a lot of dyes, you guys, and I feel like Scrap Diva, her dyes go real well with the Maggie Holmes collection. So I did use some of her dyes, and I'm going to use more, but I'm just not done yet. Another thing I had picked up from Tuesday morning a while back was these stamps, and they were house stamps, and they came in a set of 3, and I broke them up because I only had one box, and I want to include one of these in the collection. And this one says, "Oh, hello." So I really like that one. That's going in there. And then from Amazon, sorry, from the Dollar Tree, I also picked up these bunnies, and Maggie Holmes paper has rabbits in them. So I felt this would make a great embellishment. So I did buy these to put in there. And then on Amazon, I picked up these umbrellas because the Maggie Holmes collection that I'm using is called Parasol. Let me share it with you guys. Not the collection, but just the front cover. That way you guys know which one I'm using. I'm using this one, and I didn't buy anything else for it. But see, it's got blues, it's got pinks, it's got peach, it's got yellows. So I was able to incorporate quite a few colors, pick out colors from there. But it didn't have any parasols. I don't get it. Anyway, so I picked these party favors up, candy favors, and I made a sequin mix. And that's what I have in here, a sequin mix. But because this does have gaps around the perimeter, it does snap, but it doesn't shut airtight. So I put the sequin mix in a clear plastic bag so I wouldn't have a mess everywhere. And I just propped it up in the holder. And I used a lot of things, a lot. One of the things that I also picked up from the Dollar Tree were these little fences. Around Christmas time, they had them in black, and they had them in white, and they did have a stone on this side and one on this side for balance. I took the back one off and left the front one, and this is just a little simple swan die that I have. It didn't have any layers to it or anything. All I did here to make it look more dimensional was I used 2 leaf dies to create the wings on it. Here's a flower that I had made. Now, with all the scraps that I've been cutting out, I've had a lot of little pieces, and I've been punching out these teeny tiny butterflies. It's a very small punch that I have. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been adding it to the sequin mix or adding little touches here and there because most of my embellishments are small. So I only created one. I still need to package it up because I want to create a second one. Here are some of the rosettes that I created. This is a Scrap Diva Designs die. Let me share that with you guys. I'd already recorded the video and it cut off. So, and it only had a 5-minute thing, so I didn't want to upload 2, so I'm re-recording. These are the Scrap Diva Designs, these butterfly rosettes, and it does come with the 2 different sizes. I will link it in the description box below. It does not have the body part, but if you have Scrap Diva dies, a lot of her dies have butterflies, and she's got a lot of butterflies, and the body will be separate, and you can use one of those or something you have in your stash, and that's what I did. So that's one of the dies that I used to create these, and then I created the small ones too, but these are the 2 larger ones. I still want to create a pink one and a yellow one, so I'm not done yet, but there's 2 right there, and look at how gorgeous they look. And this little bit right there came from, I think it's her flower pot die, but I could be wrong, but it's one of her dies. And the grow and the bloom are from the flower pot die that she has. And here are the 2 bodies that I use from a separate die. Ooh, I want to sneeze. Anyway, those are 2 that I created that match the paper line. And because I have this little organizer paper holder in there, I'm able to prop them up and they don't fall over or anything. One of my all-time favorite dies is a swan die by Tattered Lace. This is no longer available, but it comes with the artwork. And because I have this one and one other one, the one I shared with you, I don't have any Maggie Holmes swans or anything with a crown or anything, but I had these and I thought they were gorgeous, and these do have the layering pieces, and I did add glass glitter to it. So I did add diamond dust to it, and they're gorgeous. And the bow is just a cut out from the Maggie Holmes paper, and then I layered another bow on top. I love, love, love these. Of course, I had to include it in the embellishments that I'm creating for this. So that will go there. I don't know what I'm going to do with this umbrella yet, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress. Let me leave it there for now. And then I have another die that's also retired. I'm sorry, you guys. By Tattered Lace. I love Tattered Lace dies. And right here, this has the artwork. It has the flowers, and the boot is actually green, like a moss green or an apple green. But I decided that I wanted to use a pink and then the Maggie Holmes paper. So I covered it up, the boot part, but I left the flowers as they were. Here's a flower that was in my stash that was gifted to me by my friend Sabrina a while back. I used it there. And this is called the Wellington, but it's no longer available. And then this is a Spellbinder stamp that I have, that I made little stamp embellishments to go with the boot. One of them says, "Rain is just confetti from the sky." And this one, I made it into a shaker. It's "When life gives you rainy days, wear cute boots and jump in the puddles." And that one is a Spellbinder stamp. This one right here. I love it. I love that sentiment, and because I have the boot. So I created these embellishments to go in the tier thing. I have 3 bicycle dies, and I have tons of dies, you guys, but I only have 3 bicycles. I just ordered one today. These embellishments I created a long time ago and never used them, but they remind me of Maggie Holmes paper, and it's the right colors. And then this one's another bicycle I have, and I cut it out, and these are some ticket dies that I have. And I cut those out and just layered them because I noticed that Maggie Holmes has a lot of tickets and stuff like that. So these are, the only thing that is the Maggie Holmes paper is that little rose right there. So I created that. And then here are the bunnies from the Dollar Tree. These are super cute. Look at that, you guys. So on these, I did line them with the paper from Maggie Holmes. These are little flourishes from a Scrap Diva die, I believe, that I have. And I just added them there, added some diamond dots. And these are flowers I had in my stash. These little butterflies right here are an LDRS die that I've had for years. It's the blue butterflies that come, it's like a trio. It's a garland, this one with the bow, and then one individual butterfly. So that's the individual butterfly that I use there. To make this, I just use my bag topper die. Here's that banner that goes with that one. I just cut a strip, cut an oval through it. I adhered my bag topper to the back and not in the front because I did it like a matchbook style of closure. This is a rose that I created a long time ago. I had it in my stash, and this is the Scrap Diva. I believe those are the capsula leaves. The word bloom came from her Scrap Diva flower pot die. So these just go in here, and I think that they make a beautiful presentation because you can see them peeking out through that oval. So that's another embellishment that I created. And then I created these flowers. Look at how gorgeous these are. So this is making me rethink this whole Maggie Holmes thing, because it just depends on what you do with it. I know that a lot of Maggie Holmes fans, they like to layer things, very dimensional. I think I like things just a little bit more simple, so I didn't really embellish like that. But nonetheless, whoever purchases this, they can layer it up if they want to, because there's going to be plenty of handmade embellishments in it. So I created these flowers with an old cherry lint die that I've had for a long time. And I don't think it's even available anymore. I think I have it right here. Yeah. That's this one right here. This is my all-time favorite rose die. The leaf, and then that. These make the one rose. So I use that for the white ones, and for the pink ones. But if you notice the white ones, these were halfway made, you guys, because I used those little flowers that I had in my stash that I shared with you a minute ago as the center. And then I only did, I think it's like 3 layers of the petals, and then I glued the pre-made flower in the center. So I didn't have to worry about making that bud. And it's gorgeous because there's actually a flower that looks like this in the paper collection. And I colored these with Copic markers, the leaves, not on the other ones. These are a paper, pearlized paper that I have that I used here, but here I colored them in. The roses, again, just a solid pink, Recollections pink paper that my all-time favorite paper. And then these shabby roses right here, see how they're jagged on the edge? That's a Scrap Diva die, you guys. That's the one that comes with her romantic tags, and it has these were great for just layering up, but I wanted to make it look like a rose with some shabby edges, so I used this particular die. Again, it will be linked in the description box below. And that is what it looks like when you make it look like a rose. Look how gorgeous that is. And I added glass glitter to all of it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love it. I love the way that came out. And then we all have bag toppers, but I've never seen a tiny bag topper. And I thought, I'm going to create a mini bag topper. So I created these bag toppers. These measured 2 inches across and less than 2 inches in height. And I made them into shakers. I did buy the new Cameo, the Cameo 5. And I bought the electrostatic mat platform that you don't need a mat. And I am loving that thing, you guys. Love, love, love it. So it was very easy for me to create a file, create the shaker parts, and just cut out a full sheet of the shaker frame and just glue them together without too much trouble. So those are our shakers. I got a little bitty butterfly that I've been punching out with my punch. There's the LDRS butterfly. It's layered up in pink and the holographic rose gold. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And of course, it's got the Maggie Holmes paper on the window. Gorgeous. I love the way these came out. Stunning. Love it. And then I have these frames. I have this one and I have an oval one that I picked up years ago when RAC Moore was going out of business. I bought the whole case that they had up there, the whole box. And they come in square, and they come in the oval, and they do come in a circle. But Maggie Holmes has a frame like this, and it just has a bow. So I'm going to create an embellishment with this, but I turned it into a shaker. So here's the square one. I still need to make the oval one, and it is a shaker, and that's one of the cut aparts. That little bird right there is this little cheapy die that I picked up from AliExpress years ago. And that's what I have draped across that little banner. The capsula leaves from Scrap Diva are right there. And I'll show you what the capsula leaves look like. Right here. Those are these that they almost look like they have a heart in the corner. And she's got other ones, but this is the one that I own. And that's the one that I used. Right here with the designer paper, I cut out those little leaves, whatever had more green in it. And look at how gorgeous that looks. So that's one of the embellishments in the that I included. I still need to complete one more, but I haven't done it yet. And then I have been binge watching Maggie Holmes swaps and embellishments because I'm not a Maggie Holmes fan, and it's very difficult for me to work with a paper that I'm not really drawn towards or to. But I was watching this lady, and she did embellishments, and she packaged them like little in candy bags like this. And I found them. And I'll share with you what they look like. These are frosted, but they do come in clear. I didn't find the clear on Amazon, but I did order them. And then I bought a bigger size. And then you need to purchase this tool to seal it. And this one has, see the ridges? So it does like a chip. And then there's one that's just straight. It doesn't have any ridges. Kind of would give you what that looks like there. I'm thinking I might pick that one up too, depending on what I'm doing. But I picked that up because I wanted to make mine look like that, like candy. So I did paper roses, and I thought that reminds me of candy. So I did it like if it were saltwater taffy, and I made the word taffy with the offset. So this one's a banana flavor, and this one's a strawberry flavor. And these are just paper roses that I created with a die from my stash that I have had for a really, really long time, which is this one. I went back to look for it, you guys, because I wanted a second set and couldn't find it. But any small rolled rose will work. So that's what these are, and they're in those beautiful little bags. And I did sprinkle some sequin and some of those little butterflies I've been punching out in this one. This one was the first one I did, and I just added some of the rose gold leaves in there. But they look like candy to me. I love these. Love, love, love the way they look. So those are going to go there. Something just fell off. And then I had to make a 3D project. Look at this gorgeous camera. This is an SVG file that I bought on Etsy because I did not want to use my brain to create one. This was already done. All I did was purchase it and cut it out and put it together. I didn't want to think about score lines and cut lines. I've been doing a lot of that lately, and I just didn't want to think anymore. So I bought a pre-made file, and I did have to look at the instructions on how to assemble it. But it's not a tutorial. It's just a visual, like pictures, and you kind of can put two and two together. So that's what I did here. I added a flower from my stash. Here's one of those tickets that I made using my ticket dies. I have a couple of ticket dies. This film strip was gifted to me. It's a die by Maggie, and thank you, Renee. And it was perfect for this project. I loved, and I just kind of curled it to make it look like the film was coming out of the camera. I did make the center into a shaker. So it is a shaker, and it is a box. This one's empty. I haven't put anything in there, but I'm going to make some Polaroid embellishments, and that's what I'm going to put in here. Even though it's not a Polaroid camera, that's what I'm going to put in here. It even has the camera strap and everything. And I think I'm going to add a piece of designer paper to the back, but I love the way this came out. And this is, of course, going to house embellishments, and it's going to be sitting front and center on this project. And then I wanted to create something that I could put embellishments in, and I wanted a little house because Maggie Holmes has a lot of houses. So I had this die, and it creates a 3D house, but it doesn't have a bottom. So I did have to create the bottom, but all the other work was already done for me. So here's what it looks like. It does not have this little roof here. This is from a different die that I just kind of incorporated here. I did have to make my own bottom for this, and I left the roof open even though you're supposed to glue it. So you can add, right now I have some swans in here, but I'm going to do wrap beads and stuff like that. And that's what's going to go here. I still haven't created bows. I'm waiting for my new bow dies to come in, you guys. I created some bows, and let me share those with y'all. Or I'll share the big one. I'll share the big one because that's the one I have handy. Oh, I have some little ones here. I created a bow die, and I really couldn't complete it completely because there's certain parts that a machine is not going to do as well as a die as far as the embossing, the details on there goes. But this is what it's going to look like for the most part, except the embossing. All I did was emboss it in an embossing folder. I created this bow die because we're always looking for a way to hang something on our bows. So the center loop to this bow actually has a hang tab to the piece. I created it in 4 different sizes. So this is the jumbo right here. So this is the biggest one. You do need to use a full platform, not because it's so wide, but because it's long to cut this one out. And you get 2 different tails. You get this fishtail banner at the ends, and then you get this one. I use both on this particular die, but you don't have to. And then you're also going to get the detail hearts from the Shabby Rose. That same heart is going to be included in these bows without the hanging piece. It's just going to be the heart. But look at how gorgeous that is. And I can hang anything I want from this tab. And those are coming, you guys. Those are probably already produced. And here's a smaller version of that. And I hung my little mixer charm that I created. That's also a die that's coming. So I still need to create bows, but I'm waiting for my bow dies to come in because that's what I want to use so I can hang charms and stuff from them. But anyway, guys, that is all that I have. Oh, nope, that is not all that I have to share. I also created this little dresser. My friend Carolyn, I'm not going to share the dresser too much. I need to do a separate video. But let me share with y'all what's in here. I created some flowers in different colors that match with the Maggie Holmes paper. And this is a die that my friend Nisha had gifted me during either one of our swaps or something like that. I'm not sure. And then here's the small butterfly rosette from the Scrap Diva die. And I just added another butterfly on top. And I think they're gorgeous. I still need to make a pink one and a yellow one on that one as well. And then when I work on rosettes, I have to trim them because I don't want big rosettes. I want smaller ones. But I get a little piece left over and I don't throw it away, you guys. I create a mini rosette. So I had some little mini rosettes pre-done in the pink and the yellow, which is the colors that are in the paper. So I included them. I'm going to include them in here. They won't be in the dresser. They're going to be packaged. I just haven't packaged them up yet. This dresser die is by Carolyn, who is Tea Time and Dolls. She just started making her own dies. And this is a dresser die. So you do need a full-length plate to be able to cut this. You cannot cut it in a regular small machine. Anyway, guys, that is all that I have to share with y'all today. I hope everyone has a great day and God bless. Bye.